So as we have calculated all the pH of acids, base, whatever the pH we have seen pH of acid, weak acid, strong acid, mixture of strong and strong, mixture of weak and weak, mixture of weak and strong, polyacidic, polybasic acid and base. We have seen all the cases. Now, as I have told you in the starting of chapter, that you're gonna see all the varieties of pH you can be expected. If you talk about mixing of acid and base, whenever mixing acid and base, so what is the pH? We know all the category of pH: strong acid, weak acid, third is strong acid plus strong acid, fourth is strong acid plus weak acid, and fifth was weak acid plus weak acid, and sixth was the polyprotic acid. In case of base, we also know weak base, or second strong base, third weak base plus strong base. All the cases we have seen. Fourth is strong base plus strong base, and the fifth one is like weak base plus weak base. In base, we do not generally categorize polyacidic base. So if we know the cases will be similar. So in case of acid, we have seen all these categories. In case of base, we have all these categories. But when we start mixing them, I have told you, we have to see all the possibility, all could be the possibility whenever we are mixing an acid with a base. So what are the possibilities there? So first of all, strong acid and weak acid. So when we talk about acids and bases are mixed together. Whenever we are mix an acid and base, so what will happen? We from the very starting classes, from our very before the high school classes, we know whenever an acid and bases are mixed and bases are mixed together, what they form? We have to write first of all equation like NH4Cl is an react with the strong base like NaOH. First of all, we have to write the reaction what is happening. It will form NH4OH plus NaCl. So here it is forming from NaOH is a strong base and it is forming a weak base. So it is general example. What we are expecting here, that in generally the ionic equilibrium, the reactions are generally ion exchange. NH4 plus is reacting with Na plus and OH minus. NH4 will lock this ion and Na will lock this ion. So it will form NH4OH and NaCl. This is generally an ionic exchange reaction. So whenever we have an acid and base, so in acid and base you will see we will be having salt plus water form, because acid have H plus part and base has OH negative part. So it will form the water, and the cation and anion when together make to form the salt. So whenever we mix acid and base, it forms salt and water. So when acid and base are mixed on equal proportion, mixed in equal proportion. So when acid and base both are being mixed in equal proportion, means we have equal amount of acid, equal whenever we talk about amount, we are talking number of equivalent and equivalent of base. So they both react each other and totally form the salt plus water. That means no excessive amount of acid is left, no excessive amount of base is left. So why I am not talking about? Because we are studying the case by time. Means first of all we have seen the pH of individual acid and pH of individual base. Now we are talking about when acid and base are equally mixed. Now what will be the pH? Then we will come to the point when they are unequally mixed. So it is a procedure to learn this topic, ionic equilibrium. So when acid and bases are or an acid and bases are in equal proportion, that is, both are limiting reagent, both are limiting reagent, so that will be the case of salt hydrolysis. Also, that a new term we are studying over here, that is salt hydrolysis. Now, what is a salt hydrolysis? Like when we have an acid HA, whenever it is reacting with base BOH, it will form BA. It will form BA plus H2O. So BA will dissociate into B positive or A negative. We know it is whenever both will react, it will form BA and H2O. So BA either it will or not here, not BA, actually it will gives B positive plus A negative. So B positive when react with water. Obviously, when all the salt we have seen, all the salt are strong electrolyte. They are strong electrolyte. They don't dissociate like alpha. Then alpha is always 1. So whenever B positive react with H2, it will form BOH plus H plus. Now, since this is releasing the H plus in water, or this is increasing the concentration of H plus, that one is known as acidic, or we can say cationic hydrolysis. So this is a cationic hydrolysis. And now A negative when react with water, when let's say A negative when react with water, it will form AOH. It will form HA plus OH negative. So it is basic. So it is actually anionic hydrolysis. It is actually anionic hydrolysis. Anion is being hydrolyzed. So actually, whenever the cation is hydrolysis, it is called acidic hydrolysis. Whenever anion is hydrolysis, it's called basic hydrolysis, because it is releasing OH negative in water. It is increasing the amount of H plus in water. So the phenomena of interaction of cation and anion, or both, it may be interacting only cation. In the previous case, we have seen A positive, and only anion, that is B negative, or both. A plus and B negative both could react, or none. Might be both are not reacting with water to produce acidic, basic, or neutral solution is known as salt hydrolysis. So reaction of salt with water is known as salt hydrolysis. Like we have HA and BOH. It is forming BA plus H2O. So it is first of all a reversible reaction, right? So in forward direction, whenever the reaction is moving in forward direction, means it is acting as a acid base neutralization. So in the forward direction, it is forming an acid base neutralization reaction. But in when we talk about the backward direction, in the backward direction, which reaction is occurring? So in the backward direction, the salt hydrolysis is taking place. So whenever the salt hydrolysis, it forms HA and BOH both. So whenever we talk about the K of acid base neutralization, that is equals to 1 upon KH, when KH stands for salt hydrolysis constant. It is called salt hydrolysis constant, and a salt hydrolysis is endothermic process.